Welcome to the tutorial on multiplexers part 2. With this understanding of the mux, we will proceed to 1-bit bus. From the word multiplexer, what we understand is that the basic application of a mux is to transfer data from several lines to a single line. So a communication channel can be realized by using a mux at the source in order to transfer the data from several lines to a single line by using a decoder or a demultiplexer at the destination in order to route the data from a single line to a desired output line. So this diagram explains the data lines that are available at the source, wherein we have used a 4:1 mux with select inputs, and we have used a decoder in this particular case with select inputs, and the data lines are available at the destination. And this is the 1-bit mux with the NOT gate provided because the enable input should be active low. So what this does is, it transfers the data from the several lines to a single line, and by passing through this particular decoder or the demultiplexer, if you use, from the single line you are going to pass it to the desired output line at the destination. So this type of channel is often referred to as the 1-bit bus, wherein we make use of a mux at the source and a decoder or a demultiplexer at the destination site. Next, let us configure a 16:1 mux using 4:1 mux. So just look at this particular diagram. So here you can see we are using 4:1 mux, 4:1 mux, 4:1 mux, 4:1 mux. So totally 4:1 mux are used, and enable pin is grounded because you know that if the multiplexer has to function, then we need to provide an enable input to be active low. Okay. When you use 4:1 mux, you can provide data lines from x0 to x15. So that is equal to 16 data lines. So that is why you have 16 here. Now, the output of each mux is single. Okay. So if I consider this to be one output, second output, third output and fourth output. Now since there are 4 outputs from this 4:1 mux, we will have to make use of another 4:1 mux to obtain a single output. So what we do is, we use another 4:1 mux wherein each of this output of the previous stage will be connected to D0, D1, D2 and D3, and the enable has to be active low. Depending upon the select switch, we will have the function f. For a 4:1 mux, you have 2 to the power 2, okay. In general, I have also given the expression 2 to the power n:1 mux, where n corresponds to the number of select lines. Fine. So, if you are considering a 16:1 mux, then how many number of select lines you would use? 2 to the power 4 will give you a value of 16. That means the number of select inputs that you need to use should be equal to 4. So based on that concept, you can see that here for showcasing the 4:1 muxes, we have used the same select inputs, whereas for this particular case, when you are combining the various outputs of each individual muxes, we are using the different set of the select switches. So in total, when we want to realize a 16:1 mux, we need to make use of 4 select switches. So moving on, So far we have seen only 4:1 marks. So next is 8:1 marks. So 8:1 marks means how many number of select lines will this require? So 8:1 marks has 3 select lines, 8 data lines, 1 enable input and 1 output. So one example of an IC which is an 8:1 marks is the IC 74151, wherein you have the 3 select inputs as S0, S1, S2, enable inputs ranging from D0 to D7, which are 8 data lines, and you have 8 data lines ranging from D0 to D7, and the enable input which is provided, and this is supposed to be active low. You have an output which is given by function f. If you want to obtain a complement of the function f, we have g which is being provided. So let us look into the truth table of this particular IC. So from the truth table you can see that when the enable input is 1, irrespective of the type of the select inputs, the output of the function f will be equal to 0 and g will be equal to 1, because g is a complement of f. When the enable input is all 0, depending upon the select inputs, you will obtain the data lines D0 to D7 at the output function f, and at the output function g you will obtain the complement of f. So let us write the expression for the function f in terms of the SOP. So here we can write this as E bar. I have considered E bar in general because that is the case for all the select inputs, and we have different combinations of the select inputs. So 0, 0, 0 into D0 plus 0, 0, 1 into D1 plus 0, 1, 0 into D2, 0, 1, 1 into D3, 1, 0, 0 into D4, 1, 0, 1 into D5, 1, 1, 0 into D6 and 1, 1, 1 into D7. So I have specified S2, S1 and S0 in terms of the binary representation what is represented in the truth table. So looking at this particular expression, that is the SOP expression, we can obtain the logic diagram wherein we will require a NOT gate, we will require an AND gate to represent the product term, and we will require a OR gate to represent the sum terms. So here you can see we are using different NOT gates to represent E bar, S2 bar, S1 bar and S0 bar, and you have the data lines which have been ANDed with the corresponding combination of the select inputs, and finally an OR gate is used in order to obtain the function f. To obtain the function g, we are just taking the complement by using a NOT gate at the output side. So g is obtained by taking or using the NOT gate. So next, let us try to configure a 32:1 marks using 16:1 marks, that is the IC 74150. Now before we get into the configuration, we need to see how a 74150 marks looks like. Because if you see, the previous one was 74151 and that was an 8:1 marks, whereas 74150 is a 16:1 marks. So here is the pin diagram, or I can say the block diagram of a 16:1 marks, that is corresponding to 74150. wherein I have the active low enable pin which I need to provide as logic 0. I have 4 select lines S0 to S3, and there are in total 16 data lines represented from D0 to D15, and the output is active low, which is represented in purple color. Now let us look at the truth table of this particular IC. You can see I am considering the different combination of the select inputs S3, S2, S1 and S0, and when the enable input is high, irrespective of the select inputs, the output will be active high. The reason why the output will be active high is because of the complement at the output side. Otherwise, the output would have been 0. But here it is showing H, that is active high, mainly because there is a complement at the output side. Now, depending upon various combinations of your select inputs and your enable being active low, your output will range from D0 to D15, but you should see to it that it is complemented, because the output is complemented in this particular case. So you can see that D0 to D15 is obtained in the form of the complement. Now to configure the 32:1 mux using 16:1 mux, which makes use of IC 74150. You have here totally 16 data lines, and in the second IC also you have 16 data lines. So 16 plus 16 gives you a 32 data line. So 2 ICs are required. The enable input pins is represented as enable here, and since this is supposed to be active low, what we have done here is, can anyone tell me what is that we have done here? For 32:1 mark, totally how many select inputs are required? I am asking you a question. Did you understand the IC 74150? The truth table you understood? You understood the 16:1 marks? Now tell me, how many select inputs are required for 32:1 marks? 5 select lines, because whenever we consider a mux, we represent in the general case to be 2 to the power n:1, where n will correspond to the number of select inputs. If you want it to be 32, then 2 to the power 5 will give you 32. So therefore, we will require 5 select lines. But if you observe, our select lines for 16:1 mux is only 4. So what we have done here is, A, B, C, D is considered as the select lines that you can clearly see, S0, S1, S2, S3, and the same select lines have been provided for the second IC. Whereas, when you go for the 5th select line, what they have done is, they have considered the enable to be one of the select inputs. So for the first case, they have considered the select input enable to be 0, and for the second IC, they have considered the enable to be equal to 1. Clear? So in general, we are considering the function, circuit function, to be operational when the enable to be active low. But here enable itself is considered as a select line. So here for the first case, I am considering E. It is equivalent to saying A, B, C, D, E. E is equal to 0 for the first case, whereas E is equal to 1 for the second IC. So we are actually using a NAND gate. So instead of representing using this particular gate, you can also use a NAND gate. And one of the main reasons why we use a NAND gate is because we are representing the minterms in this particular case and the output is active low. So you should remember this, okay? It's not necessary that you have to represent the NAND gate in this particular form. You can represent it in the normal way itself. This is just one way of representing which I have shown. Clear? I have another question wherein they have asked you to configure a 32:1 mux using 8:1 mux and 4:1 mux. 5 select lines are required because 2 to the power 5 gives you 32, okay? 4 8:1 mux and you will require a single 4:1 mux to give you an output F. So you can see that 8:1 mux will give you the data lines from 0 to 7, 8 to 15. So this becomes totally 16 data lines here. Again 16 to 23 and 24 to 31. So this becomes another 16. So total of 32 data lines are available, plus each of the 8:1 mux makes use of 3 select lines. So that is why 3 select lines are being utilized here. Then remaining 2 select lines are being provided by the 4:1 mux, and the output of each of the 8:1 mux is given to the data line. So this is represented as I0, I1, I2, I3, which corresponds to the output of each of the 8:1 mux. And depending upon the select lines of S4 and S3, you are going to appropriately get the output F to be equal to I0, I1, I2 or I3.